Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and remember, context is everything. Media Network founder and CEO John Michael is reading a textbook, or rather, just a self help book. Cover to cover. Today, on a new year, we begin chapter 5 of this. What this book is, let me tell you, and please listen for 1 second here. What this book is dissolving the ego and realizing the self. Each chapter has 33, or half of that, tidbits of wisdom about releasing the ego, understanding the mind, and all that. Here we're on chapter 5, witnessing and observing. So you're going to get some tidbits about witnessing and observing the mind and the ego in order to... I don't know how to do it yet, so I'm reading this for me. A form or style of contemplation that leads one to self-realization is witnessing and observing, whereas the ego is focused on experiencing of sensations and the processing of experience. Witnessing and observing shift the focus to an impersonal field of awareness, helping one transcend the attractions and aversions of the self through non-attached observation. After one has observed the general field of the mind, it is apparent that the specific content of thought stream itself is not likely to be rewarding. One has to stand back and move farther into the next level of consciousness and ask, what is it that is watching, observing, being aware of, and registering the flow of thoughts? In the same way that the eye is unaffected by what is observed, or the ear by what is heard, the ongoing process of witnessing is unaffected by that which is witnessed. I'm pretty sure the eye and the ear are affected by what they see and what they hear. Like, I'm just thinking loud noises negatively affect the ear, like it can damage it, right? I might be misunderstanding. Just as there is no entity that is doing any thinking, there is no witness behind witnessing. Witnessing is an impersonal, inborn aspect of character and characteristic of consciousness itself. One can retreat from involvement with the contents of thought and choose to adopt the point of view of observing and witnessing. Now that I think I get. Witnessing or observing does not focus on any idea or image, but allows them to flow by without involvement. One then realizes that the thought images are occurring spontaneously and thought stream is impersonal. The thoughts are not mine, as there is no me involved. As the physical eye sees images, it does not claim authorship of the images, nor does the ear claim authorship of sound. Therefore, with some experience with witnessing and pure observing, it also becomes apparent that the thoughts are not authored by a unique personal image called I. They are a result of combinations and permutations of ideation and emotional programs that are playing on a game board. The realization that the mind is not the same as I or me breaks the identification of self with the mind. Non-resistance does not mean to ignore or deny. Instead, it means to witness, observe, and be aware, which is an experiential style, which as an experiential style moves one from being the imaginary actor in the movie of life to being the witness or observer who is thereby emotionally uninvolved, yet capable of participating. I believe that this is Stoicism, right? This attitude diminishes the temptation to invest in positionalities or outcomes. Then personal will surrenders and divine will takes its place. Creation becomes continuous and evolutionary and subserves the unfolding of awareness. There is no who witnessing, experiencing, or observing. Rather, it is an innate quality that is operating effortlessly without the drain of the energy of intention to modify the process. All of life merely becomes a given, and awareness of the essence of subjectivity diminishes the sense of a personal I or me to the innate presence of the self that is beyond thinkingness of the content, but instead encompasses it. This awareness is the light by which we see mentally and emotionally. By this awareness, focus now turns inward to the source of light, instead of to the details of what is illuminated. It is solely by this light that one can even be aware of the content of mind, or else how would one even know that one is experiencing or thinking about it? I'm going to read that last sentence again because I misread it. It is solely by this light that one can even be aware of the content of mind, or else how would one even know what one is experiencing or thinking about? Spiritual intention subserves, reinforces, and focuses on witnessing and observing rather than on doingness or specifics. Spiritual processing is like positioning oneself in the wind or in a water current. The contemplative lifestyle facilitates transfer of the sense of identity from body, mind to witness observer, which is more primary and closer to the truth of self and reality. The next step is to withdraw of the sense of I from the witness observer, where it moves to faculty of consciousness awareness itself, which is a quality rather than a personage. One major advantage of being a witness or observer instead of a participant is that the witness does not talk. It just sees without comment. It could be said that the witness observer is aligned with the forest rather than the trees. A persistent image that I remember seeing in dreams, maybe twice, is the imagery of a forest in two different ways, and I want to say it briefly. The forest of the life, meaning you're in the woods from time to time, and there's clearings from time to time. When you go into uncharted ground, it's venturing into the woods. When you find some sort of stability that is in a clearing, in a place that you can relax for some time. Being in the woods is not necessarily bad, but there are things to be immediately and constantly aware of. These are transition points. Now, is that a bad thing? No, as a matter of fact, it's a good thing. Movement is good. But the clearings are places that are rest places where you, once you hit a milestone or you reach a new place, you have to get comfortable in and do all you can in that clearing before it's time to go into the woods again. So that's an image from my dreams. A useful decision, I don't even know where I am, let me see. A useful decision or choice to decide to stop mentally talking about everything and refrain from interjecting comments, opinions, preferences, and value statements. That it is therefore a discipline to just watch without evaluating, investing worth in editorializing, commenting, or having preferences about what is witnessed. The witness observer is a contemplative attitude of poise. Phenomena appear and disappear. One must constantly surrender the desire to experience the phenomena or the desire to juice the experience of the experiencing itself. Consciousness and awareness is located just beneath the prior to the function of the watcher-observer. Consciousness and awareness is located just beneath the prior to the function of watcher-observer. It is silent and unmoving, like the sky or space itself. By relinquishing anticipation, clinging, seeking pleasure, or avoiding unpleasantness, the focus remains poised on the razor edge of the crest of the feeling moment. In this poised position, mental activity and imagining gradually recede, revealing that the underlying field is activated by the desire and intention of thinkingness itself. As focus and interest move from the content to the observer-witness, it will be found that the observer-witness is an emanation of consciousness as awareness, and a non-linear impersonal quality that is primary, innate, and autonomous. Attention is selective based on presumptive value, which is only transitory. By watching what the mind selects for attention, its proclivities become apparent and reveal the source of attraction and aversion. By relinquishment of the propensity to project either desire or aversion, all becomes of equal value when devoid of projected specialness. The one-pointedness of mind means to focus on the crest of the wave of witnessing, experiencing, pulse, plus being willing to surrender perceived loss or gain. That is the primary skill that is needed. This crest of the wave business is very good. The crest of the wave of consciousness, the crest of the wave of time, the razor's edge of the present moment is an imagery that is effective. Spiritual evolution is the automatic consequence of watching the mind. It is, and its proclivities as in it, from general viewpoint of the paradigm of context rather than content. Instead of trying to force change, it is merely necessary to allow divinity to do so by deeply surrendering all control, resistance, and illusions of gain or loss. It is not necessary to destroy or attack illusions, but merely to allow them to fall away. To watch the mind from a detached position is educational and non-stressful, and it can be done with equanimity. When the style of detachment, of observation, and unfolding of life reveals itself to be the consequence of the spontaneous emergence of actuality, as a manifestation of potentiality, when conditions are favorable. Very good. Very good, and goodbye. And yes, God bless. And if you're watching this today, upon release, Happy New Year. If you're watching it another day, Happy Day.